Hello, and welcome to another edition of App Marketing Conversations. I am Ryan Morrell with GameHouse. As always, I'm here with Ian Sefferman, Mobile Dev HQ, Roby Ganguly of Apptentive. So it's been a while, but as we kind of talked about in Roby's segment, there's been quite a bit of news. So and a lot of that has come from Facebook recently. So we'll talk about there are two big deals. The most recent one happening yesterday with the purchase of Oculus Rift. So, for those of you who don't know, Oculus Rift is a virtual reality hardware manufacturer. As far as I know, they've never actually sold a product or
They pre-sold the product,
They
right?
pre-sold the product, but no one's actually ever used one as a consumer. Like, you can't go buy one. Is that true?
But they shipped units. I've seen them in the wild. Like there was somebody here in space that had one for a while.
Okay.
So they definitely shipped units.
Okay, but not massive.
So their Kickstarter went out, but nothing else.
I think that's
Probably
right.
Yeah, okay. So let's start with just initial reaction to Facebook's purchase of Oculus Rift.
I think that it reflects the fact that Facebook probably feels like their stock's at a premium and they can go make some purchases. And I think Oculus Rift, Zuckerberg explicitly said, this is about what's next after mobile. And so that's a big bet on what's next. I'm not sure whether or not they're right, but I like that they're making bets, and I think that virtual reality is definitely in some form or fashion here to stay. So from that perspective, it's interesting.
I think those are my exact 2 points on the deal and on their other deals, which is just like, I think Mark Zuckerberg has been smart about recognizing that money is incredibly cheap on the public markets today.
Yeah.
And he should go use that to his advantage, and she's used it to his advantage. And I think Oculus Rift is like it's a terrible short-term buy for them, right? But is it potentially an interesting long-term buy? Who knows?
Yeah.
I think the other thing that it does to me is it actually sets them up more like Google than I previously had thought of them as, in that Google is just kind of all about like, we're gonna try random things all over. Like we're doing self-driving cars, we're doing contact lenses that check your sugar levels if you're a diabetic and have an LED in them to actually like show you a light, right? Like that's all sorts of like crazy stuff that you wouldn't expect from a search engine. And I think Facebook being like, we're gonna, I don't think this is exactly what it's gonna be, but we're gonna show you your friends in a virtual reality headset, right? Like those are disconnected things that I have a feeling are going to be cool to watch play out.
Okay. So the next one, which is obviously a much bigger deal in terms financially and also from a short-term user-based perspective, was their purchase of WhatsApp. So that was about a month ago.
Man, time flies.
Yeah.
$19 billion
Crazy.
for WhatsApp. Amazing, well done, guys. So what was your reaction? What was your reaction at the time, and does the purchase of Oculus Rift since then change your view at all?
I don't think the purchase of Oculus Rift changes my view of the purchase of WhatsApp. I actually don't. I never really saw an estimate of what WhatsApp's revenue was. Do you guys have any estimates on that? Like, I don't understand. I don't know the multiple of revenue, right? It obviously is a huge amount of money. Is it an absolute insane amount of money? I don't know. I actually thought that the most impressive thing of that merger was the founder of WhatsApp going onto the board of Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right.
I thought that was the most interesting thing, and so that to me was like, Mark obviously trusts this guy and wants him involved at a really, really strategic level.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. I thought that was the most interesting thing. That the conclusion was, this is very important. You built something meaningful. You should be on the board.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think, at least my opinion, and I'd like to hear what you guys think of this, is that there was a point in time when Facebook wanted to own the experience with consumers, not only from like a usage perspective, but also from a brand and connectivity perspective. And they've clearly just said, this isn't going to work, right? And their purchases recently have kind of solidified that. I mean, first they purchased Instagram, they tried to buy Snapchat, then they buy WhatsApp, and now they buy Oculus Rift, all of which I'm assuming will continue to be the kind of their own standalone businesses, giving kind of Facebook this broad, octopusy like access to people and their data to enable advertising probably across different mediums. But it's an interesting strategy shift from what was once like this kind of standalone site with maybe some sign-on stuff.
Right.
It is. And there's probably, like, in my mind, there's probably two things going on there. There could be two things going on there. One is simply in mobile today, you see people really liking single-use apps.
Yeah.
Right? And so simply branding it separately makes it feel like a single-use app, right? Like that's what Instagram is. And then the second thing is that you almost wonder if it's sort of like we are seeing and expecting backlash against Facebook, the brand, with the younger generation. And so we are actively moving towards how do we branch out from that so that never really ever occurs or matters.
What do you think?
I think I think the WhatsApp acquisition just on its face is smart. Just thinking about it, it's like there are very few other companies in the world that could buy it, and each of them would stand to gain a lot more ground on Facebook if they had.
Yeah.
Right? So Facebook doing it, it's just made a ton of sense defensively, if nothing else.
Yeah. Okay, one more question. Off the cuff, if you're whatever the guy's name is from Instagram, do you wish you waited?
I'm a believer that you never get upset when you have a win.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, so let me ask it a different way. Should they have waited?
I mean, I don't know if I would have, right? Like that's a tough call when you see a B out there. I think clearly they actually should have, right?
Yeah.
Like, but that's 2020.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. I mean, you could argue, right, that WhatsApp doesn't happen if Facebook doesn't buy Instagram and have a massive success with it, because it was a big bet.
Yep.
And maybe it was the only size bet that they were willing to make at that point.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be a really smart one. So they were like, oh, we're emboldened to do
Yeah.
other ones.
Yeah, good. Okay. All right. Anything else that you guys want to add here?
It's a crazy world we live in right now.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a lot of fun. It'd be a lot more fun if I was one of the guys.
With a B in it.
I wouldn't be sitting here with you clowns. Okay, well, thank you very much for watching. Make sure to check out the segments from Roby and Ian. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time.